Hey everybody, how's it going out there this evening? Yeah, it's this evening here anyway. So back with another video. I'm gonna have me a cigar tonight. No, it's not lit up yet. I'm gonna do something very rare. I'm actually gonna cut it and light it on camera. So normally I get all that, whether it's a pipe or cigar, I'll have all that done and out of the way ahead of time. But I'll do a little bit of a cigar video for Appalachian Axeman. Is it Appalachian or is it Appalachian? For Jesse. Anyway, he wanted some recommendations on some cigars. From what I understand, I'm not for sure, Jesse, whether you ever had cigars or not, or this is going to be your first, but I'll just give you a few of my favorites. And cigars is kind of like, to me, it's kind of like pipe tobacco. Just like there's thousands and thousands of blends out there, same way on cigars. So you're going to find what you like, what you don't like. You may smoke a few that you can't stand or you don't like, but one of the reasons that I'm doing this, it's getting late. We just when I took my time, I think on my last video I told you to take my wife out of town for Mother's Day, spent a couple days out of town, and then we got back into town. Then we got together with all my brothers and sisters and took my mother out. So we just got back from dinner with her, so it's getting a little bit late. Hopefully we'll have plenty of light out here. I'll try not to go too long, but reason I'm going to show you cutting and lighting a cigar. And so now there's going to be thousands, if you haven't already looked or if you haven't already smoked your cigars by now, there's going to be thousands and thousands of videos out there on cigars, YouTube how to smoke a cigar, probably like all of us did on how to smoke a pipe or how to light a pipe, how to load a pipe, or etc., etc. But the reason I bring this up, because I work with a bunch of guys, and this one guy said he's a cigar smoker. It's like, oh, well, we should have cigars some night. So on one of our nights off, we typically take Sundays off. So Sunday night, we were at a hotel where we had a grill and everything, so we were grilling out, and I brought some cigars down. So he gets his cutter out, and this is there's well, maybe not hundreds, there's a lot of different types and styles of cutters, but so this guy takes his cigar and he goes like this. Can you see that? And he's getting ready to cut. I'm like, wait, stop, don't do it, please. You're not going to cut it. Well, yeah, I always cut it there. I said, you don't want to cut it there. If you cut it there, the whole cigar is going to unravel, and it's just not going to make a very pleasant smoking experience. He says, I wondered why my cigars always unraveled. I'm always trying to hold them together. So you just barely want to cut that cap off. Now that's way too much there. I don't know whether you can see that. And if you're not for sure how much to cut off, if you can lay this down on something, that you lay your cutter down on a flat surface, put your cigar in there where it's bottoms out, and then snip it right there. That'd be a good starting point. Sometimes you can maybe put your finger there so it doesn't go through too much. After a while, and I typically wet mine just a little bit. Does it help or not? I don't know. I'm under the illusion it kind of keeps it together. Maybe not. But, and then I just barely cut that off. And I kind of blow it and rub it to get any loose tobacco off of there. And then the same guy, I also watched him cut it and light it up and smoke it. He lit the end that he cut. It's like, too late on this one. Next time, once you flip that around and do it, it might be a little bit better. And so, in lighting, you can use a soft flame. You can use a torch. I've got my tabletop, my desktop out here. This is a three torcher. I just had to put fuel in it. And you want to take it easy, or at least I do. Now, I'm giving you all this from my opinion and my references, but I don't want to touch that flame like that to that cigar. I just want to barely, I don't know whether you can see that or not, get that there, and I want to kind of rotate, because I want to, what I call toast it, just kind of like you're toasting a piece of bread. You want to toast it kind of all the way around. Take it easy, don't get in a hurry, because you don't want to scorch it. I want toasted bread, I don't want scorched bread, at least I don't. I always tease my wife when she makes toast, she likes stale bread. I like mine at least toasted. I don't like it stale out of the toaster. And so now I'm doing this. So this may take you a little bit longer. I'm kind of doing it quick just for time's sake on the video. And then once you kind of get it hot, you can see a little bit of the embers there. And then draw as you light it. I'll blow on the end a lot of times so I can see where if I need to add a little flame, you know, one side or another. And then draw like you would say. I typically draw a little bit longer, deeper draw than I would on my pipe. I don't want to get that cherry super red hot. I want to give it, you know, depending on the cigar, I want to give it a little bit of time in between draws, in between puffs, whatever you might call it. And so I'm going to look at my notes here on some of the cigars. Now this cigar, I don't know whether you can see it. I don't even know what this is. I've had this in my humidor, and I've had these before, but I don't remember what they are. So I know I like it. And you can retrohale just like you would on a pipe. Anyway, so now some of the cigars that I like, I'll get on with this because I'm already at 6 minutes in. I don't want this to be a 20-minute video. When I very first started smoking cigars, I went to a cigar store, and a guy there recommended a cigar. I bought it, took it home, and it was terrible. It's a very, very popular name brand cigar, so I'm not going to mention it. A lot of people like them. I have tried many different of theirs and since then, and I don't like them. But that's me. It's kind of like, I'm not a big fan of aromatic pipe tobacco. Some people, that's all they smoke. I like Perique. I like Latakia. You know, I like that, you know, like that Navy Flake and Cube Cut and, you know, some of those different things like that. Virginia, Hearth and Homes has one Virginia Spice. It's got some cigar leaf in there. Some people probably think I'm crazy for smoking that, but, you know, again, that's why there's thousands or who knows millions of different blends, because same way on cigars. I don't like flavored cigars. And I'm not talking about the grape, vanilla, cherry, you know, little tiny thing you get at the gas station. I'm talking about a regular cigar that is flavored. It's just not me. Not that they're bad. I don't like them. So I don't like Brussels sprouts either. I like spinach. I like peas. I like beans. So again, there's, you know. And just like pipe tobacco, cigars are going to have different levels of nicotine. Now, when I talk about cigars, when I find a lot of people talk about cigars, they'll talk about the body and the strength. They're two different things. What do you want a mild cigar? A lot of times they're referring to strength. To me, when I talk about strength as being mild, medium, or full, strength to me refers to how much nicotine is in that cigar. Do I want contrast that with body. To me, the body of a cigar is that flavor, how complex it is. It's a very nice and easy flavor, what I would call, say, like a aromatic, maybe pipe tobacco. I don't know whether that's a good analogy or not. And I'm sure you've probably already got a lot of input from a bunch of other people, but and then or do you want something that's really what I would call, I'm no cigar connoisseur, no aficionado. I like cigars. It's kind of like pipe tobaccos. I've learned what I like and what I don't like, and there's still a million out there for me to try. And so, what I would call a complex or maybe a lot of different, when I smoke a cigar, I like that tobacco flavor. Look at that. I'm starting to, that's part of the cap, which I don't need that because I really don't want to eat that. Oh, another thing, I try to leave my ash on there as long as possible. That way, I don't want to say it filters it, but to me it seems like it allows the cherry to cool more. I don't like when I start getting down wherever I end my cigar, whether it's an inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, whatever. I still like a nice cool smoke. If I draw on the cigar and I get hot smoke, that's it. I'm done. Unless it's way up here and I may be, drawing too hard or too fast. I'm puffing, too fast. Which a lot of times I get a cigar I really like and then it gets too hot and it starts to turn bitter. So one cigar that I really like, very mild everything. Mild body, mild strength. Very little nicotine kick to it. Very mild as in far as flavor. Not that it's bland, but it to me it is smooth. Is an Ashton. Ashton is, if you probably already studied this, but Ashton cigar, they're going to make several different lines, just like you might have Drew Estates pipe tobacco has different lines, or Hearth and Homes or Stokeby or whoever. And so Ashton has a classic. It's got a white label on it. They've got a lot of them, but this one is an Ashton Classic. The one I liked was called an 898. The reason they call it 898 is the way it's packed in a box. It's got a layer of 8 cigars, got a layer of 9 cigars, got another layer of 8 cigars. And so, see if I can adjust I've got my notepad here that I'm looking at. And so, very, very smooth. Sometimes if I just want a nice, easy, smooth smoking cigar, it's going to be an Ashton Classic 898. Now, that might be a $10 to $12 cigar. Now, another thing about cigars, they come with what they call a ring gauge, how big around that cigar is. So if it's a 64 is equal to 1 inch. I typically like something in a Robusto size, which is typically around a 50 inch, that's a big cigar, 50 ring gauge, so it'd be 50/64 of an inch, or a tiny bit smaller. I like somewhere between a 42 and a 50. Every now and then you get a company that calls a 52 or a 54 a Robusto. I will smoke them. I've actually got one here I have never had. This is an LFD, La Flor Dominica Oro. This is a 50, I can't remember now. It's either a 54 or it's either a 52 or 54 ring gauge. I have heard so many good things about it. I'm going to try it. To me, I get more flavor out of, say, a 50, a 48, somewhere in that ring gauge. Seems like these big ring gauge 60, 64, even into the 70, which means they're bigger around than an inch. That's the craze. I don't like them. People think, well, yeah, I get a bigger cigar for, it's better value for my money. Not for me, it's not. So if I don't like it, it's, I end up smoking half of it or a quarter of it and pitching it. So another cigar I like is La Aurora, again, another brand. And again, a lot of these I'm just giving you some of my favorites. They make a lot of them that I like, but like a La Aurora Preferido, they'll make them. They come typically in different colored tubes. They'll make one called an Emerald, which is from Ecuador. Excellent, in my opinion, excellent. Now it's going to be a little bit stouter, a little bit bolder cigar in strength and in flavor and body. But I like the La Aurora line. I like their La Aurora Preferidos. I like the My Father's is another line of cigars. They have one called the La Flor de las Antillas, something like that. That's the most Spanish you're going to get out of me. La Flor de las Antillas or something like that. I love that cigar. That is, to me, that is, again, in a Robusto size. I'm not a big fan of what they call a box press, where, notice this cigar is round. You get a box press, which it'll be kind of square, and it's the way it's pressed in the box. They're all right. I am not a big fan of torpedo shaped. Now that La Aurora Preferido, that's the only way I've ever seen it is in a torpedo, where it's kind of in shape of a torpedo, submarine tube. I'm not a big fan of those, of that shape of cigar. I don't know. I just don't like the way they smoke. Almost anything you get by Padron, in my opinion, is going to be very good. Like the Padron, they've got what they call their 1000 series, 2000, 3000, 4000, etc., etc. That the higher the number in those Padrones means the larger it's going to be. I like the Padron 2000. They'll make them in a Maduro and like a natural wrapper. And I'm already at 15 minutes, so I don't even have to come close to time to explain that. And then Padron has their anniversary series, which is, again, top of the lot. They've top-notch cigars. They got a 1926 and a 1964 anniversary series. Another one of my favorite is Liga Privada number 9, made by Drew Estates. It's a Liga Privada number 9. Now, again, Drew Estates makes a lot of flavored cigars. Don't like them. You may love them. But they make this Liga Privada number 9. Excellent. Aging Room is another line of cigars. They have a Quattro F55 that I super enjoy. I really like that. Alec Bradley has again, another line. They have their Alec Bradley Max, which I really like. And a lot of these cigars, they'll make them what they call a Maduro, and in a natural wrapper or sun-grown or shade-grown. And I'm going to let you do your research on it. There's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of videos out there on this, or just read online. So I'll try to let my ash go. Every now and then I'll tap it off because I don't want it falling in my lap. Now if I'm out, doing something out in the yard or something like that, I don't have to worry about it. But another one I really like is, I don't know whether you can see this. This is a CAO makes a series. That's a flathead, and they call this their spark plug. And I don't know whether you can read that right up there. I say a little tiny cigar. It's a small cigar, but man, this guy. Can't get out of the box. So yeah, it's going to be hard to do a comparison, but these are great little cigars. Great flavor on these. I really like these. La Flor Dominican LFD. I've got a couple of those that I brought out here, like theirs, and we're getting so dark now. I think that's a La Flor Dominican Coronado, I believe. I've got this one. I've never had this one again. This is that. I don't know if you can see that LFD Oro there. Now this is their Maduro. Tubo just means it's in a tube, but this is their Maduro. They make these, I believe, in a natural as well. Partagas, and I like them. I like a lot of different of the Partagas cigars out, and again, there's way too many to even begin to name. But anyway, there's a few recommendations for you. Hopefully you got some you can try, some you can, if you haven't, I don't know whether you'll continue cigar smoking or not. What I've got into now is once I find some that I really like, I go buy a box of them. And so like Oliva, Oliva has a Serie V Milanio that I really like. I like a lot of the Oliva. They make a Serie V Maduro that's really good. Again, there's so many different brands. I typically find myself, when I find a cigar that I really like and I look at it, I find out it's a Nicaraguan. I like a lot of the Nicaraguan cigars. I've had some Cuban cigars, real Cubans, not any fake ones that have been that you get. I was in a cigar store yesterday, I'm trying to think. Yesterday we were out of town. We went to this little touristy town. So I went to this cigar store, and they were, yeah, we're the exclusive distributor of these Cuban cigars. Well, they weren't Cuban cigars. They were Cuban seed grown in Nicaragua, but they were calling them Cuban cigars. It's like, that could be a little deceiving there. And so, but I've had, like Friedrich from Sweden, he has shipped me over some Cuban cigars, and they're good. I'm not saying they're bad, but I can find Nicaraguans every bit as good, at least of the Cubans that I've had. Now, I've had hundreds and hundreds of Cubans, and so I'm going to tap that ash so it doesn't end up in my lap. And then we start clean, and we'll build another 2-inch ash, something like that. So anyway, I'm at over 20 minutes, 21 minutes. I'm going to kill this video now. It's going to take me a while to get it uploaded. Hopefully you picked up something out of this. If you got questions, do a YouTube video search. Well, you can't do that. You can ask me. You got a lot of the guys in the pipe community that are cigar smokers. They're going to know. You got Metalhead Cigar Guy. You got Hillman, 2 that pops right off the top of my head that I know. And I haven't checked back on your original video. You may have 1,000 responses, way better than I've given you. So hopefully this will help you out, give you some recommendations. One thing I will not do is, if I'm done with this cigar right now, I'm done with it. I won't try to let it go out and relight it. I know some people, they will, oh, I got to go do something. They'll cut the cigar right there. They'll make another cut, and then they'll come back tomorrow and relight it. To me, I don't like it. I get bitter. I get stale out of it. So, but anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to let you go. Hey, I appreciate you watching, Jesse. Anybody else who's watched this, maybe you picked up a hint, a tip or two. I know this is an incredibly long video. I can't imagine anybody watching this all the way through, but if you did, God bless you. You're a trooper. So anyway, hey, I appreciate all the likes and shares and comments, and we'll catch y'all next time, all right? You guys take it easy.